Donald Trump will be the last to arrive in Quebec. He's on his way, and he had some more defiant words before he left Washington.
Yeah, an angry and a very defiant Donald Trump is boarded Air Force One and will be the last leader to arrive here shortly. You know, this G7 is being held in a bucolic setting, a holiday village called La Malbaie, 90 miles northeast of Quebec. If there's any place which is conducive to harmony and tranquility and a meeting of minds, it's La Malbaie, Quebec. However, that's probably not what's going to be happening at this summit. What we're really going to have is a confrontation, if not an outright clash, if the sort of previews, the sneak previews we've had in the past couple of days have been any indication. Donald Trump has been tweeting away, on the eve of this summit, and his latest words are basically right back in the faces of Emmanuel Macron and Justin Trudeau, basically indicating he is not going to relent in any way, shape, or form on what has been a very aggressive trade policies, the imposition of those tariffs against some of the U.S.'s closest allies. And, Donald Trump has always been a man, if nothing else, he's made it very clear he doesn't care that much for diplomatic niceties, the glad handing, all of that, the diplomatic cordiality. He's actually, in a sense, a man who likes being what they say the G6 against one. If anything, I sense he's actually looking forward to being the black sheep, the odd man out at this summit. The Donald Trump standing firm, at least in the eyes of his base, against the elites of the world, the other world leaders, all of them against Donald Trump. That plays well with his base, and it plays well to his sense of himself being a different type of leader, a leader that says the truth to the rest of the world, even if they can't understand it.
And there's equal defiance from his G7 allies.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw it yesterday with Emmanuel Macron and Justin Trudeau after their press briefing, basically saying, look, we are not going to bend over backwards just to please Donald Trump. Yeah, he may be the president of the world's, biggest superpower. But, if it comes down to it in the end, Emmanuel Macron's been very clear. They are ready, the six leaders, that is, to sign perhaps an agreement without Donald Trump's signature on it. They're making it very clear, as Emmanuel Macron said, at the end of the day, the G6, without the United States, has a larger economic market. They share common values that, for the time being at least, seem to be very much at odds with those forwarded by and supported by Donald Trump. And right now, there's a sort of, a defiance as well on the part of the other G6. It's not just Donald Trump who can play the defiance game. The other leaders are very clear. We want to engage with the U.S. president, but not at any cost. And there are other issues to discuss at this summit, and we are going to make clear that we have our own values and our own agenda.
So Trump trouble aside, what are the other important issues?
Well, there are big ones. Listen, Canada is the host of this summit. One of the biggest issues is a climate environmental one, plastic pollution, and this is not a minor issue. You could almost argue that it's one of the biggest environmental issues facing our planet right now. The oceans are being absolutely suffocated and choked out with the loss of, or the endangered loss of many ecosystems. Canada's trying to push the plastic issues. We've come a long day since the 1967 film The Graduate, where a young Dustin Hoffman was told he has one word of advice about the future: plastics. That line has a grim resonance today because plastics are no longer mankind's friends. They are today really the enemy. Canada wants to push that issue. Will it be eclipsed, drowned out by Donald Trump? Perhaps, but it will definitely come up in those talks. And also the big other issue of this summit, once again, Canada's initiative, women's empowerment, gender equality. We heard yesterday France and Canada teaming up in an action plan on international aid to help empower women around the world with a focus on education, educating girls, young women. That is the key, they think, to a lot of other issues. You empower women and you unlock sort of the road forward on solving a lot of the other world's sort of grave and most serious problems.